This morning, let's explore letting go of disabilities. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. This is the Lama you were looking for. One moment, please. This morning we could chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two, but first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as profoundly as Qui-Gon Jinn on Naboo, be sure to subscribe and ring this notification bell. This morning we could discuss letting go of our disabilities that you too could meditate like a Jedi. If at any point during this morning's live stream you have a question, do not be shy. Simply type your question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of your screen. Unless you're watching a replay, then you'll want to type your question in the comment area below the video. Well, it's dark 100 here in California, and if you're feeling a bit dappled and drowsy, I invite you to join me in 2 or 3 repetitions of geriatric step-back squat thrusts before a Buddha image. And if this is not your first rodeo, you might even perform a recitation of love and enthusiasm. All of this is optional. May I liberate all beings by mastering the Eightfold Path, relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. May I liberate all beings by mastering the Eightfold Path on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. May I liberate all beings by mastering the Eightfold Path on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. Well, that was invigorating. I think I'm going to take a moment to tell you what you already know. Disabilities suck. Some occur before we're born, some occur in childhood, some occur in early adulthood, others in mid-adulthood, and still others in late adulthood. No one gets out of life without some damage. Regardless of when it hits us, it's always a shock and an inconvenience. Sometimes the life with a disability can be inconvenient, sometimes it can be cruel, sometimes it's torturous. I'm not going to lie to you and say that this technique gets rid of all physical ailments. It doesn't. But it can help us to cope with it. From a certain point of view, the first noble truth is there are stressors. Some are circumstantial, some are physical, some are social, and some are mental. The second noble truth, again, from a certain point of view, is that when we respond to our stressors from our oldest survival instincts, the instincts to shove or reach or cling or compete, it just intensifies the stress and makes it worse. It is inferred that the key to happiness is what the Buddha offers us is not liberation from the presence of stressors, but rather not even liberation from the presence of our controlling tendencies, but liberation from their tyranny. And what you could find through regular practice of this exercise is that while this is not a panacea, and this is not a cure-all, and this will not transform you from a schlub into the Olympian ideal, it can help you to make peace with the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. The first fold of the eightfold path is right view, or a liberating view of reality. So what we're going to do is play with our autonomic nervous system in a way that helps us to let go. We're going to do that through the cunning use of a rhetorical question. In Tantric Buddhism, we are fond of archetypes of enlightenment. A great example of that would be a lithograph based on a painting of the Buddha. And as we inhale, we could effortlessly observe the sensations of our bodies, good, bad, or neutral. However, so this is a rhetorical question. So why is it that although when we inhale we can observe the sensations of our body, yet when we relax into our exhalation, this exact same body could begin to feel as if it was as non-graspable as a vast empty void, like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless day, which, although is tantalizing to the eye, is intangible to the hand. How is it that as we relax into our exhalation, these exact same forms could feel as if they were as non-graspable as an artist's rendering of an archetype of enlightenment, comprised only of light? So this is a rhetorical question. Our job is not to answer. That's the opposite of the purpose of a rhetorical question. A rhetorical question is kind of like, it's much, much better than an affirmation. An affirmation is a brute force. You're trying to tell your brain what's true, and your brain is going to resist that. But when you ask a presumptive rhetorical question, how could this be? Then your mind could start looking for answers, right, wrong, or indifferent, logical or illogical. It just loves answering questions. So we blend our rhetorical question with our inhalation and with our exhalation while whispering the 12-syllable mantra of Shakyamuni. We physically relax as best we can. This combination of rhetorical question and relaxing recitation go a long way to helping us to transcend our habitual resistance. Our habitual resistance to the presence of what we hate, our habitual resistance to the absence of what we crave, our habitual resistance to the loss of that to which we cling. This has been practiced in one form or another for more than 1,000 years. Sometimes it's practiced out of mental laziness and superstitious thinking. Other times it's practiced because it really helps. Every 12 hours I broadcast a live meditation class without any ads. This channel is supported by the generosity of viewers just like you. With your help, this channel could support the next generation of nuns, monks, yogis, lamas, and even brick-and-mortar meditation centers, each replete with a resident teacher and their apprentice. If this speaks to you, and you'd like to help out even for as little as the cost of 1 cup of coffee a month, then simple. Just poke around the description area below the video. You'll find a link for Patreon, a link for PayPal, one of 2 buttons for YouTube's join, and a second YouTube button for Super Chat. Click whichever floats your boat. Going to check for questions. Aha! Good morning, Dr. Darren. So I think it could be fun if together as a team we chanted 6 passages of my adaptation and amplification of the Padmakara group's translation of the final meditation manual attributed to Dzogchen Rinpoche, Heart Treasure of the Enlightened Ones. Together. All phenomena are like magical illusions, said the Buddhas, but these days the illusions are more illusory than ever. Trickeries conjured up by devious illusionists. Beware of the illusions of this degenerate age's ways. All talk is like an echo, said the Buddhas, but these days it is more like the re-echo of an echo. What the echoes say and what they mean are not the same, so do not take any notice of these insidious echoes. Whoever you see is not human but a fraud. Whatever people say is not right but just lies. So since these days there is no one you can trust, you had better live alone and stay free. If your actions conform with Dharma, you could honor many beings. If your words are truthful, most people could get angry. If your mind is truly good and pure, they could judge it a defect. Now is the time to keep your own way hidden. Hide your body by staying alone in the mountain wilderness. Hide your speech by cutting off contact and saying very little. Hide your mind by being continuously aware of your own thoughts alone. This is what it means to be a hidden yogi. Disgust because there is no one to be trusted. Sadness because there is no meaning in anything. Determination because there could never be time to get everything you want. If you always keep these three things in mind, some good could come of it. Return now to this morning's primary text, which should be available for free download within 3 or 4 hours. May everyone be free from stress, may everyone be happy, may no one be separated from the happiness, may everyone have balance free from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging. May I liberate all beings by mastering the Eightfold Path, through relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. May I liberate all beings by mastering the Eightfold Path, through relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. May I liberate all beings by mastering the Eightfold Path, through relying on the Buddha's example, instructions, and students. Let us bring mantra contemplation into the path of love. Through the cause and effect of my practice of love and letting go, may each sentient being of each world know practice with me in unison. With whom we invoke the example of the Muni Wise One. Like the Maha greatly wise one Muni of the Shakyas, we so how wish enlightenment for all. As we chant the mantra, could feel as if golden rays were emitting from Maithamnosa's horizontal 12-syllable mantra rosary at our heart, lavishing all man's communication, bodies, and circumstances, with your peace, health, and good fortune centered and spontaneous. If it is in the best interest of all that I have great wisdom, then may I have great wisdom. If it is in the best interest of all that I not have great wisdom, then may I not have great wisdom. May all beings benefit, may all beings benefit. One moment.